Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good morning. First and foremost, let me welcome all of you to the program that is The World Today, a conversation with Ambassador. So this morning we are honored to have the guest of honor, that is the Deputy High Commissioner of the Republic of Maldives, Ms. Mina Sharif. So Assalamualaikum, Ms. Na, and welcome to IKIM, and thank you for being with us this morning.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ahmad, for having me. It's my pleasure to be here.
That's very good. So, to start our conversation this morning, maybe you can share with us a little bit about your career before you become the Deputy High Commissioner to Malaysia.
Sure. So before, I've been here for now three plus years, so more than 3 years I've been here. So before that, I have served in government posts in the Tax Authority as the legal director. During that time, I was drafting pivotal laws related and regulations related to taxation. And after that, I've served as the Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture. At the time, I was involved in policy decisions and overseeing the tourism ministry overall and supporting the cabinet minister in my position.
So you have a lot of experience in politics, I would say.
Some experience, I would say, because mostly, for most part, I have also been a practicing lawyer.
I see.
Yes, in the Maldives, so I practice commercial law.
You mean before joining politics or during the being in politics?
So now this is a political position as well,
position.
The Deputy High Commissioner. So it's part of the current government.
Okay. All right, so since being the Deputy High Commissioner to Malaysia, how do you find Malaysia so far, I mean, based on your observation?
Malaysia is like a second home, to be honest.
Second home.
So Malaysia and Maldives, we share a lot of cultural similarities. We have similar food, the religion. We are 100% Muslim country, so the life in Malaysia, it's very easy for Maldivians, not just for me, but this is the comments I get from many Maldivians that are here in Malaysia.
Yeah, if I look at you, I would say that you are not Maldivian, you are Malaysian.
I get that a lot, and when I'm outside, a lot of people speak to me in Malay. So I know a little bit of Bahasa, but not that much. So then I have to say, I'm not Malay.
Okay. So, a lot of Malaysians actually travel to Maldives. So tell us a little bit more about Maldives.
So Maldives, well, a lot of people, what they know Maldives is for the sandy beaches and the clear crystal blue waters. But I think a lot of people don't know that we are a group of 1,200 islands. 1,200 islands.
So we repeat, 1,200 islands.
1,200 islands, and that's quite a lot.
Quite a lot.
Quite a lot, but they are small islands spread across 800 kilometers in the Indian Ocean.
Okay.
So it's just 4 hours from Malaysia to Maldives.
Oh.
So many people don't know that as well. So
Right.
it's only 4 hours, and we have Air Asia direct flights
Direct
from here to Maldives.
Oh,
So it's
that's
very
interesting.
easy. And now it depends on the season again. So there's a high season and the low season. So if you get tickets, say in November, you could go for like 1,000 ringgits return ticket to the Maldives.
Okay.
So we have a lot of options. I'm sure we will get to that a little bit later on. We have a lot of options for anyone Malaysian who wants to visit the Maldives, ranging from the very high-end tourist resorts all the way to homestay. So we've recently introduced homestay tourism, but we also have local guest houses where Malaysians can go and
It's
stay.
very much like us here.
Yes, so there's a budget, that would suit anyone. And everyone. So depending on your need, you could find something for yourself.
When the best time to visit Maldives? Best time.
Again, it depends on what you're looking for.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for more competitive rates, the low season would be the way to go.
What do you mean by low season?
It's sometime between May and November. Sometimes currently, what you're looking at
That
is
is
the
the
low
best
season.
time.
Yeah.
So now is the best time to visit Maldives, you would say?
You could visit, but then it'll be slightly more rainy. So, but tourism is open throughout the year.
So there is no problem with the heavy rains, for example?
It comes and goes, so you'll be all right.
Okay.
You can, yeah.
So I'm sure right now when the Maldives is open after the COVID, but I think as you know, as the world knows, that Maldives' biggest economic sector is tourism, right, which is one of the worst hit also by the COVID-19 pandemic, and that has affected the global economy, of course, no doubt. So what are the measures taken by the Maldives in dealing with the impact of the pandemic upon the country's economy? Or, now we are living in the post-pandemic life. So what is the situation like that?
So the pandemic, of course, it was unprecedented and it affected the entire world. And Maldives was no different. We were affected as well. The COVID numbers started rising. And in March of 2020, we had to close down. So we closed our international borders in March 2020.
Yeah.
And almost all the resorts shut down. Almost everything shut down. And there were massive layoffs.
Okay.
People lost their jobs, and we couldn't. I would say we couldn't afford to keep it closed.
Yeah.
So we were back open in July 2020. We reopened the international borders.
Yeah.
So we reopened the borders, and we saw that travelers were still traveling.
Coming to Maldives.
Coming to Maldives. They were
During
coming
COVID?
to during COVID, they were coming to the Maldives. Of course, we had taken precautionary measures.
Okay.
So Maldives, as I said, is 1,200 islands. So we had natural social distancing built into those islands.
I see.
So that was a blessing for us during COVID. So in 2019, before the COVID, we had 1.7 million tourists visiting the Maldives per year. 2020, it was about one third, so which is 500,000. 500,000, so one third for the COVID. It was the height of the pandemic, so that's not too bad.
Yeah.
And then 2021, 1.3 million. So we were coming close to the pre-COVID levels, and we are expecting a full recovery by 2023 in terms of numbers as well as the economic recovery.
So the number is picking up.
It is picking up, and we won the World Leading Travel Destination Award for 2 consecutive years in 2020 and 2021.
The most?
The
Most
world's leading tourist destination award. Yeah.
So from Malaysia, is that one of the...
It's one of the most prestigious awards in the world. So everybody's learning from the Maldives experience.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's one of the success stories in the region because we were open and we were the economy. It would have tanked otherwise. So we were up and running, and we were managing the situation quite well. And right now, all of the resort workers, they are fully vaccinated. 70% of the population is fully vaccinated. So the vaccination also, the government intervened, and there was early vaccination for the population. So that was one of the things. And I would also like to note that the government took a number of measures during COVID to ensure that small businesses and those who were laid off, they were all looked after. The businesses survived. So
what the government has done in order to keep them survive? Because everything is closed down. There is no international trade taking place during those periods?
It was for 3 months that we closed, but we were back open, so the income would slowly start trickling in.
I see.
So the government, what we had to do was a lot of the national budget that was allocated for climate resilience and adaptation, that all had to be redirected towards healthcare and taking care of the economy during the pandemic.
So meaning that after 3 months, then the government decided to move on with the opening up?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so some of the things that the government has done, that includes there was more funds allocated towards the health sector, building isolation facilities for people. Then they subsidized electricity bills and water bills for a few months for the public, and they gave special allowances to those who lost their jobs during COVID.
Special allowance?
Yes, so you have to register and you will get some form of income from the government.
For 3 months?
For a set number of period, so people got it. And then those were the fiscal measures that the government took. They also there were other monetary measures. So short-term credit facilities were made available. So those that had taken out loans, were given a moratorium of 6 months, and that was later extended until the end of 2020, so that they can pay back the loans without default.
Excellent.
And also there were
Yes.
tax reschedulements, filing dates were postponed by the
Yes,
government.
yes.
So a number of these things were done in order to make sure that everyone survived, businesses survived.
That is I would say, the best strategy, because it is build resilience for the country
Yes.
and also the people. Maybe, is there any health issue during pandemic? There is no health issue, I'm sure, because 3 months only.
Looking at the numbers, we have a population of about 500,000. That's about 500,000.
Yeah.
So we had about 185,000 cases in the Maldives.
Okay.
185,000. So far up to date, 300 deaths.
300.
300.
Okay.
So it's a lot in terms of our population size, because 300 means we are a small community. So there'll be someone.
Everybody knows each other?
Yes, everybody knows each other, and there will be someone affected from
Yes,
the
yes.
families.
So there is a good support system to maintain mental health as well, I'm sure.
That is a bit of a challenge in the Maldives, but I would say we're working on that as well.
Okay. So if, let's say, somebody want to visit Maldives, what would be the main tourist attraction?
Well, we have a number of things. So as I said before, starting from the very high-end luxury resorts, so we have the concept of one island, one hotel.
Okay.
So one island, one hotel. So we have, looking at the numbers, we have 164 such resorts. So that is
Exclusive.
The exclusive resorts.
Okay.
And we have other budget options like
Middle range.
Middle range guest houses. We have about 848
It's a
guest
lot.
houses spread across the whole of Maldives. Islands,
Okay.
yes. And recently we started homestay. We have 2 of those. So we are still very, very fresh. It's very fresh.
Yeah.
So we're waiting to see if that idea will take off.
So the homestay concept is, in the middle of the community, I would say.
It is different from guest houses. So again, all of these, in the Maldives, the tourism sector is regulated in terms of what the standard should be maintained by the resorts, what standard should be maintained by a guest house, what standard should be maintained by a city hotel, homestay, what standard should be maintained. So we manage the quality of the product that is in the Maldives.
Interesting. Look forward to that and see how it is done. And what are the other things? I mean, you're talking about the tourism industry is one thing. Is there anything that we can talk about, such as product from Maldives, if people want to know about it?
Yes, our second largest economic activity is fishing.
Okay.
So now is the fishing season. So we have a lot of fish. People are catching a lot of fish this season, and
The big one or the small one?
big ones and small ones. So we export to the European market, to the Japanese market, and so on. We also have tuna fish cans. You might be interested to know that we currently have Maldivian fish, tuna fish in local supermarkets.
In Malaysia?
Malaysia.
Oh, we look forward to see. So
Yes.
we have a tuna fish from Maldives in Malaysia as well, marketed.
Yes. Yes, the
okay.
tuna cans are available in the supermarket, so you can look for the Maldives. It'll be on the label.
I see. How about the other thing, other than the fisheries?
Other than the fishery, we don't have major products in the Maldives, because mostly we import most of our products, because we're not a producing country. Yeah.
Yeah, so we have like a tourism industries, of course. We have fisheries, and of course we have some other things as well. I'm sure that we're going to talk about. So,
So in terms of trade between Maldives and Malaysia, Maldives exports sea cucumber, tuna. Tuna is, of course, on top of the list.
Yeah.
So small sea products like that.
Yeah.
But from Malaysia side to Maldives, diesel,
diesel, yeah.
timber, and cooking oil.
Yeah.
Those are the top products that Malaysia exports out to the Maldives.
Yeah.
So it accounts to about 7 to 8% of our total imports. So that's a considerable number. So
Yeah,
Malaysia
considerable number,
is
definitely.
somewhere very high on the list.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, let us take a short break, and we will come back right after this. Welcome back. For those people who just joined us, this is the World Today conversation with Ambassador. And here with me, I'm speaking to the Deputy High Commissioner, Republic of Maldives, Ms. Sharif. Just now we talk a lot about tourism, and we also talk a lot about the trades and the main tourist attraction in Maldives. Now, if we look at what happened today, I mean, with regards to what's going on in the global scenario today, there is an issue of climate change, right? So Maldives also face the challenge of climate change, and particularly the aspect of the raising sea level, which can adversely affect the small island countries. So what are some of the Maldives climate change strategy and solution in addressing this threat, especially in facing, I'm sure whenever this thing happen, it's going to affect tourism industries and island and so on. Please.
That's right, Dr. Ahmad. As you might know, Maldives is one of the lowest lying countries in the world. Lowest. So 80% of our islands are just 1 meter above sea level. So
Wow.
It's just the sea level is just there. So one of the things that we have been advocating since the Paris Agreement is to keep global temperatures within 1.5 degrees compared to the pre-industrial levels.
Okay.
So there was a commitment to keep it below 2 degrees Celsius, but and to endeavor to keep it under 1.5. So we are saying 1.5. We are advocating for that. What you see. If there is a change in global temperatures, we're going to see a rise in sea levels. And Maldives being one of the lowest lying countries, we really face an existential threat when it comes to sea level rise.
Yeah. Right.
It's not only that, but we would also be seeing coral bleaching.
Yeah.
Maldives Islands is made up of coral reefs. So we would see a lot of coral bleaching as well if the temperatures were to rise. So we are already experiencing some coral bleaching in the Maldives.
Okay.
So I would also, when we talk about climate change, Maldives is a low-lying country. It's not just the Maldives that's going to be affected by global climate change.
Yeah.
So you might be seeing a lot of extreme weather events, reports coming in the media. Even here in Malaysia, we see flooding.
Flooding usually, yeah.
Flooding. So there was some flooding. Was it last year or the year before?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have the smart tunnel. So that was managing the flooding in the city area.
Yeah.
But then there were worse floods elsewhere in Malaysia.
That's right. Now Pakistan is facing
severe flooding. There is a hurricane affecting parts of the America, and there are wild bushfires in Australia. So we are seeing extreme weather events across the world. So I think a global effort and a serious commitment is needed to combat and address these issues.
Is there any island that has been disappear since then because of that?
I wouldn't really say inhabited island, but islands, the shoreline, there will be changes due to natural causes. There will be changes. So there is erosion as well. We are experiencing erosion. So we have done a few things to address climate change in the Maldives. So for the past 20 to 25 years, we have been doing things like building seawalls around inhabited islands to make sure that the islands are protected. So all of the islands have some form of some form of seawall to protect the islands. But these are hard engineering solutions, I would say.
Hard engineering solutions.
Hard engineering solutions.
Yes,
And there's some research that says, okay, maybe this is making the problem worse, but we will see. So now we are taking a more holistic approach. So it is not the hard engineering solutions we are looking at. We are looking at other things, building community resilience.
Yes.
Towards addressing this issue.
Kind of a nation building things too. It's not only just a physical. Yeah.
So the government policy is centered around looking for a full solution. So that includes shifting to a net zero policy from running on diesel to running on solar power by the year 2030. So this is contingent on getting the necessary funding from the international community to solve this issue here. So if we get the funds, we are working towards a net zero policy. Of course, we were set back by the pandemic.
Yeah.
So there was some setback due to the pandemic, but we are working towards that. And by 2023, we are looking at phasing out single-use plastic in the Maldives. So that has already been implemented. Also, the government is looking at finding solutions to stop open burning of garbage. That's going to.
Is that rampant?
We have one central island where all the garbage is collected, and we have a garbage disposal challenges. We do have. So now there are two projects that are upcoming. Two projects to build world-class waste management facilities in the Maldives, so that this issue can be addressed.
Is that affect tourism industry seriously when it comes to climate change?
For the time being, the resorts they would do beach replenishment and so on and so forth. But the islands are still intact. And we have tourists visiting Maldives.
Yeah, that's what I want to hear. Yeah.
Throughout the year, we have tourists. But I'm talking about the very near future.
Yes.
Very near future. If there is a rise in sea level, and we have to act now in order to reach those targets that the world has committed to.
Any possibility of moving up to the higher ground?
There is no higher ground for the Maldives. So there is no higher ground. So the highest point, roughly, I would say it's 2 meters maybe, but that's just maybe a single point. So 80% is 1 meters above the sea level. So there is no higher ground for the Maldives.
Exactly, because if we compare with Malaysia, we have mountain and sea. We have higher ground, basically. But it's not like in the case of Maldives, right?
No higher ground for the Maldives. So we are also trying to lead by example to show the world that even a small country like the Maldives, we can do things to address these climate change issues. So we have, in 2021, we have phased out chlorofluorocarbons. That is 10 years ahead of the deadline given in the Montreal Protocol. So we want to tell the world if we can do it, why the rest of the world can do as well. So we are a small greenhouse, like the greenhouse that is emitted from the Maldives will be considerably negligible when it comes to other countries. But still we are doing our part. And we want to do our part towards the net zero policies to change to renewable energy and so on and so forth.
Is there any, what are the receptivity of the, people are okay with it? They are receptive to the idea of moving or phase out certain things?
So far, people have been okay, and people are more climate aware in the Maldives.
Climate aware.
Climate aware. They are more. There's a lot of awareness programs. That is, I think, throughout the world there is a shift, as opposed to maybe few years back. So more people are more environmentally conscious now. So people are accepting, I would say, of these changes that are coming.
That was very much easier then, because if with opposition from the people, that would be more challenging to the government to implement it.
Exactly, because as I said, the islands are also facing erosion, and when it's at your doorfront, you would want a solution to these issues. And for us to get to that solution, to get to that net zero, we need funding from the international community. We need the support, the technical support, the financial support. And it is something I think that rich countries have promised the smaller developing island nations and other countries that need the support.
How about the expertise? I mean, is there any expertise in Maldives to take care of that?
We get outside technical assistance on that from the UN, from the World Bank. So we get technical support from the outside to address these issues.
No string attached. Okay. Well, how about the investment? How about the investment?
The investment climate in the Maldives is very positive now. So we have a lot of new investment. We have expansion of the capital island. It's called Hulumale. So it's a whole new reclaimed island. So it's happening in two phases. Phase 1 is complete and we are on phase 2 now. So we have social housing projects, infrastructure projects. There is a bridge that connects the capital island to this expansion island. So it is very much part of the Greater Malay region where everything, the central resources are located. So there is investment opportunity in Hulumale. In addition to that, we have investment opportunities in the tourism sector as well, resort development. Whatever foreign investors are looking, we welcome Malaysian investors. So we have very transparent and published laws on investment areas. The investment policy is published, foreign direct investment policy. So you can see, okay, which businesses are fully open to foreigners, 100% open to foreigners, which are half open to foreigners, how much capital you have to put in. So it's all there on paper. So when an investor comes in, they can clearly see what all businesses they can do, what are the requirements, what are the laws.
Yeah.
So it is very open, and doing business in the Maldives is very easy.
So I would say the investor-friendly policy by this.
Investor-friendly policies, and the tax laws are also very straightforward. So we have 15% corporate tax on anything earned above $38,000. That's roughly translates to 500,000 Maldivian rupiah.
So I would say the foreign direct investment is quite high. Is that correct to say?
It is. The tourism industry has a very high foreign investment percentage.
Which country that invested most beside Malaysia, let's say?
There are several investors from all around the world, I would say.
Around the world.
All around the world.
But mainly focusing on...
The major resort, the major hotel brands are in the Maldives.
All major brand
hotel
hotels.
brands, I would say.
That is interesting. So other than the investment, how about the other areas of economic activities, I would say?
Like I said, in the foreign direct investment policy, we have all the businesses that are available in the Maldives, from construction, boat building, airport facilities, diving services. So there's safari vessels. Even tourism has a number of options that's open to foreigners. So all of that is there. So as a High Commission here in Malaysia, we are trying to promote investment in the Maldives, and we would be happy to assist anyone and direct anyone if they want to learn more about the Maldives and investing in the Maldives.
Especially in tourism industries and investment.
Yes, tourism industry.
Real estate.
Real estate, construction, yes.
How about, yeah.
So if you suppose want to acquire an island, there are two methods of doing that. You can buy it directly from the government, that is from the primary market, or you can do so from the secondary market, that is an existing operational resort they might want to sell to you, so then you might buy off.
What is the price range for the benefit of the audience?
Again, it depends. Depends.
Maybe one of our audience would be interested to buy properties in Maldives.
All the rates are actually published rates, but then you have to work out based on the size of the island, okay, how much is it going to cost if you're buying off the primary market that is from the government. So all of that is published information that is available.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So ladies and gentlemen, let us take a break for a while and stay tuned with us. This is The World Today Conversation with Ambassador. We'll be right back. So welcome back to the program. This is the World Today Conversation with Ambassador. Here with me is the Deputy High Commissioner, Republic of Maldives. So we will talk a lot about investment, economy, tourism, and so on and so forth. So right now, let us move back to Malaysia. I think talking about the bilateral relation between Maldives and Malaysia. So Maldives and Malaysia have always enjoyed excellent relations that have strengthened over the years through ties of Islamic religion and also shared cultural values. So what is your hope in the future relation between two countries? Yes.
As you mentioned, Dr. Ahmad, we do enjoy very close ties with Malaysia. We have strong people-to-people connection, and we have good relations with the government as well.
Yes.
So Maldives and Malaysia established diplomatic relations back in 1968.
Yeah.
And we opened our High Commission in 2006.
In 2006?
Yes, 2006. So our main areas of cooperation include education. So we have about 3,000 Maldivian students here
In Malaysia?
3,000 is the community size, so most of them are students.
Okay.
Most of them are students. So there are a lot of Maldivians coming here for education. So before our show, we were talking about prominent Maldivians in Malaysia. There are several Maldivians who have studied in Malaysia in key government and decision-making posts, including ministers, judges, members of the parliament, within the government as well. So educated from Malaysia. So we have, in addition to education, we have other areas of cooperation as well that includes health, aviation, culture, and so on. So in recent developments, you might be interested to know that this year we signed one MOU with the government to government, on mutual recognition of driving licenses in both countries. That means that if you go to the Maldives, or Malaysian goes to the Maldives, you can use your Malaysian driving license to drive in Maldives.
Wow, interesting.
And if a Maldivian comes here to Malaysia, they can use their Maldivian driving license to drive in Malaysia.
And this is very interesting. This is the first time I heard that. I mean, we can use the same license like that.
So that is very recent. So just this September, it has been implemented.
Wow.
So very fresh.
Okay. That is, I mean, how deep the relationship.
Yes.
Right, okay.
So we are the first country that the government has signed such an agreement with.
Okay.
First country. So in addition to that, we have a cultural center that was established within this administration. So one of the achievements is starting language classes. Our language is the way we have a unique language. So we have started language classes for Maldivian students here in Malaysia. So oftentimes what happens is when students go out of Maldives, there are school-age children, secondary, primary. So they often lose that connection with the language, and they are in a different, they have to speak English mostly, or some other language. So in order to keep that connection alive, to keep the language alive, we have started Divehi classes for Maldivians, and the response has been very good. And this year we also conducted the first ever exams, secondary exams, in terms of language, Divehi exams in Malaysia.
So who are the students? I mean, the Maldivian or?
Maldivian students, currently it's open to Maldives. It just started out, so we had an overwhelming response. So it is Maldivian students only at the moment.
So one of the initiatives to maintain the usage of language among the Maldivian people was?
Yes, because we are a very small population and we want to keep our language alive.
At the same time, right?
At the same time, yes.
But I'm sure that the Maldivian find it similarities between Maldives and Malaysia. Now you were talking about the use of license, and how about in the other area? Clothes, for example.
We were talking about how a lot of Maldivians look like Malaysians, so we find the assimilation process very easy. So we can very easily assimilate, and Malaysians are very accepting. We have the same religion. We are a 100% Muslim country, and Malaysia is a Muslim majority country. So we find that Malaysians are very accepting, and life here is easy for a lot of Maldivians. And in terms of food, also the food is very similar. The curries are similar.
The curry is similar.
With the coconut-based curries are similar, and sweets you have we call it short eats.
Okay.
So the finger food.
Okay.
The finger food. You have things like sticky rice. We also have something similar. We call it bondibai.
Modubai.
Bondi bai, yes.
Bondi
So
bai,
it's sticky rice. So I mean, there are some differences, but very similar, very similar in taste.
So the people in there eating rice as well, is that correct? Is it?
The
Or-
main staple is rice. I think in Malaysia
Yeah,
also
yeah,
it
that's
is
what
the
I'm
rice.
asking, yeah.
Yes, we eat rice. We have curry, and we have like a clear soup we made from fish. We make it from fish, so it's called garudia. So I think I've seen something similar here in Malaysia as well, a clear soup with the fish.
Right, that's right.
Yeah, so some similarities are there, and most foods they sort of have the same range in terms of taste.
What is the most popular food in Maldives? Like, meaning, for example, in Malaysia, if you come to Malaysia, you have to taste nasi lemak, for example, or the national food, most popular one. How about in Maldives?
Well, I have the High Commission has a few events from time to time, and I have noticed that Malaysians love our finger foods. So we have tuna
What is the
dumplings.
finger-
Tuna dumplings
Okay,
is
tuna dumpling.
there's tuna inside, and it's in a hard shell made of flour or rice flour.
Yes.
So people love that, and we have something similar to samosa. Something
okay.
similar but smaller in size and crispier, so we call it bhajia. So that people love those things.
So, what is? I mean, you mentioned about bondi bai. It's one of the.
It's a sticky rice.
sticky
You find
rice.
it in the Thai shop as well. The sticky mango has the sticky rice, but again, the sticky rice is slightly different. So when people try it, they absolutely love it.
Is there any place here that we can find a Maldivian cuisine?
Not really, not really. So, like I said, we do have some bilateral events where we do experience the exchange of cultures.
Yeah.
So that's one place where you could taste the food.
So during festival, let's say during festival, Eid, for example, what is the most popular food served during those days?
For during Ramadan, the bondi bang, and then we have some spicy chicken that goes with it. So that is quite popular. And the short eats, we have a wide range of short eats. Maldivians love short eats, like the finger food. So we have a wide range, just like similar to Malaysia. You have a lot of finger food, small bite-sized. So we have something similar. So all of those will be on display. So I think I should invite you one of these days to come and try it out.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time describing it, but
We have to
I
show.
think once you taste it, you would know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you can share the picture of those.
I will share the
food.
pictures.
Yeah. How about dress? I mean, is there find similarity between people in there wearing in here?
The dress, I mean, you might find some Maldivians wearing the Malaysian style dresses on and off. So we have a national dress. We use similar material, but it is a single full length dress. It's called digu hedong. But the material might be similar to the flowery, the colorful material that Malaysians also use.
But basically, they are wearing hijab for the ladies, and or depends on the individual.
The traditional dress didn't come with the hijab, but you will find many Maldivian women wearing the hijab.
Okay, so it is an optional.
It is optional.
But usually, the influence of the dress would be like sari or like Pakistani dress.
Not really,
or
but it
mixture
is.
of-
I think it is a unique dress, unique to the Maldives. So I will share a picture of that as
Oh,
well. So maybe you can see what I'm talking. But it's very colorful and it's bright, like the Malay dress.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we talk a little bit about education? You mentioned about 3,000 students of Maldives
Yes.
here. Usually, what program that they are interested in?
They are doing a variety of programs ranging from business, medicine. I met some students doing forensic science,
Forensic science. Yeah.
forensics, dressmaking, design, architecture. So a number of things. So I think if you, they're in several areas, I would say. Architecture, medicine, healthcare, psychology as well. You talked about mental health.
Yeah. Yes.
So there is more students studying psychology as well.
Is there any alumni, Malaysian alumni in Maldives become serving in the governments or in
As
any
I said,
society?
there are prominent people in the Maldives who have previously studied in Malaysia, including judges. So yes,
Including
there are
judges?
judges as well,
Okay.
and ministers as well. So we have because Malaysia is a popular destination for education, and over the past decades, students have been coming in to Malaysia to study and going back to the country to serve. So obviously there would be.
Uh-huh. But why they are choosing Malaysia as a destination, for example, as the education, and is it because of the social culture, religion, and?
One of the things is social culture, religion, as we talked about, the similarities and the warm hospitality and the welcoming people of Malaysia. That could be one of the, and also the facilities here, the educational facilities are excellent here. I've visited a few universities, so I saw that they're quite impressive. They're quite impressive, and what's on offer is affordable as well compared to maybe Western countries. So students prefer Malaysia. It's a popular education destination. One of the other things I noticed is that for university students, they can. We are a very small knit community, close knit community. So students, even when they go to university when they're 18, they often want to stay with their parents. So Malaysia actually allows the students, the university students, to bring in their parents as well, so they can get visa. So the family can get visa easily for university students.
I see.
So currently for dependent, the smaller children, the primary and the secondary, only they can bring one parent. So we are trying to see how we can facilitate two parents for smaller children as well.
Oh, I see. So that is how the deepening of relations between Malaysia and Maldives. Is
Yes.
there any collaboration at the educational level, like university to university, or opening up universities in there, something like this?
Well, some universities have direct relationship with institutions in the Maldives with the higher education. We also have some. Previously, we had some opportunities which the government gave G2G as well, in terms of scholarships and training opportunities. So we are post-pandemic. We are trying to revive a lot of those things.
And how about the currency rate? Is it a challenge, or I mean?
The official rate has been the same throughout the pandemic, and it is still the same. But we do have challenges in terms of providing foreign currency and maintaining a rate on the unofficial market.
So if 1 ringgit, let's say 1 ringgit of Malaysia, how equivalent to, or one, how can we say this?
Roughly 4 rupiah. We have Maldivian rupiah, so four rupiah. So you can just roughly about that much.
4 rupiah, 1 ringgit, 4 rupiah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's nothing much. That's nothing. Meaning that it is affordable, I would say.
Yeah.
It is affordable. If compared with dollars?
So $1 is about 4 Malaysia ringgit, 4.5, 4.6, I think it is.
Yeah. Yes.
So $1 is about 15.42 Maldivian rupiah.
Well,
It's quite a lot. So that's why I said 4 Malaysian ringgit. So 4 into 4 is 16.
Yes. So that is how. So for the final round, what is your expectation, the future relation between two countries here?
We enjoy very good relations with the government, and so far my experience in the past 3 years, the government has been very friendly and very open, and we have enjoyed very good relations in terms of collaboration with the government. So I hope to take it to the next level and even establish closer ties with Malaysia.
Yes, Maldives is one of the Muslim countries in the world today, and they share a lot of similarities between them and Malaysia. And now Maldives is opening up to the tourism industries, investment, and also traveling to the country. So I'm here with the Deputy High Commissioner, Ms. Sharif, who is speaking to me about Maldives. So again, I would like to thank Ms. Mariyam, Ms. Sharif, the Deputy High Commissioner of Maldives to Malaysia, for being with us. And thank you also to the producer, Haji Mazlina Ismail, and technical team, And thank you to all listeners for being with us today, and see you again in the next episode. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.